Nobody is talking about this study, and it absolutely blows my mind.
I'll talk about this study because it's trash.
There was a study that was published on September 26, 2025 in Biomarker Research. It's a peer-reviewed scientific journal with a strong reputation that analyzed 8.4 million people. It is titled, One-Year Risks of Cancers Associated with COVID-19 Vaccination, a Large Population-Based Cohort Study in South Korea. The findings are insane. The study found a 27% overall increase in cancer risk in the vaccinated group.
Now, there's three major reasons why I do not understand how this thing passed peer review. First of all, according to the supplementary material, they didn't even account for genetic or environmental factors that may increase cancer risk, like smoking, alcohol, and family history. Literally no other factors aside from sex, age, Charleston's comorbidity index, and vaccine status were accounted for. This is a major red flag, considering there was a 53% increased risk of lung cancer, and major confounding variables like smoking were not even accounted for in the thousands of participants that were observed. Here's the second problem. According to the supplementary material, there were roughly 5 time points, 3 vaccine types, 2 sexes, 3 age groups, and overall 6 cancers. All groups were potentially compared, resulting in potentially 120 to 180 distinct hypothesis tests in these files alone. Now, here's the sketchy part. Every single reported result in this paper was significant, but there is no mention of corrections or pre-registration. Now, anyone with a basic knowledge of statistics knows that if you test something enough times, you're bound to get a statistically significant result at some point, which is why we perform corrections to ensure that we are actually looking at the average of averages, or mu, and not some x-bar that is off in the distance of significance. So what does a good researcher do to ensure they choose the correct result? They pre-register their study plan to document how they plan out their analyses to ensure they don't just select the most significant result after a handful of unspecified tests. Unfortunately, I could find no evidence of pre-registration with this study. This is a major red flag for alleged p-hacking. Just so you know what p-hacking is, it's when researchers conduct a handful of tests until they get a significant result, and it's not a good look. Finally, to nail this study in the bad research coffin, according to the supplementary materials, the booster group was much larger than the non-booster group, like a lot larger. Since cancer is an individualistic genetic disease, the more people you have in a cohort, the more individual genetics you are studying, and the more likely you are to find a higher number of cancer cases in your larger cohort. So what can you conclude about this paper? Don't communicate it, don't share it. This is a very sketchy, poorly conducted piece of research that only spreads unnecessary fear about the C-Vax.